Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Muskegon.
I'm Chauncey Williams.
And I'm Tony Williams.
And this is What Do I Do Now, your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat. NBA kickoff on the 17th of October.
Is that the Tuesday?
Yeah, that's 13 days before. They trying to get that money.
Okay. I didn't know it. I didn't realize it started this soon, man.
That's a preseason game.
Yeah. You would think so.
That's right.
So you think about it, now we got baseball, the finals in baseball is going on. They've started hockey. You got football and you got basketball.
I'm gonna share with you
4 major sports.
We used to go to the Nike clinics as coaches, right? Every year during October. We went one year. We got a chance to go to Cleveland Cavaliers preseason game, right? It was a baseball game going on across the street with the Cleveland Indians, and the Cleveland Browns was playing all that same night.
Wow.
I'm talking about, they redid downtown Cleveland. It was so fun.
I can imagine, man. It was people, wall-to-wall people.
Man, I'm glad we had it. And Sunday we didn't make it to the clinic till late because
okay,
we had some good times.
Couldn't get back to the hotel, like got lost.
We did get lost. But that just show you that when they do that, October 17th, they trying to help those cities out. Having like that nightlife like that, it was so fun. It was positive environment, nothing foolish, Right. But it's revenue. That's revenue. It's all about the money, everybody, audience. It's all about the money.
So you got Cleveland in the playoffs.
That's right.
You got the Cavs starting at home. So it's gonna be big, man.
Boston, you're right.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
So I wonder where it's on the 17th. Is it a baseball, football? Somebody playing too? Somebody else gonna be playing? Watch.
More than likely, they're gonna have those dates where. If it's a weekend where both those teams are going to be downtown Cleveland.
Then you got all those colleges in there, too. You got Akron, you got the Zips, you got Kent State down there. Mm-hmm. So they all in that same area.
Yeah.
They're not that far from each other.
Nope. So Cleveland will be on and popping.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Cleveland, and we talk. This is a financial show. It's What Do I Do Now?
Right.
I've been hearing some news about the Golden State Warriors. Knowing I don't like them anyway as a team. I'm not saying that personally, but they got some problems with Nike and Under Armour on that squad. From what I've been hearing.
Because that's always news.
Yeah, that's all.
When Nike and Under Armour going head to head.
Yeah, and I don't want to take it out of context, but I've heard it come out of his mouth. Kevin Durant had mentioned that. He said they asked him about other brands in the league, and he was like, he specifically pointed out Under Armour. And I thought I say Curry just represent over there starting point guard. And he said, if I played for an AAU traveling team in high school, we were not trying to wear Under Armour. It wasn't considered a brand that you would wear being the elite squad. Wow. Why would I wear that?
Wow. And they're paying Curry millions of dollars.
That's right. He they cash cow for the whole brand. I know they took a lump in the finals when they lost to LeBron them the year before last, and they went down in sales. They took a deep dive. He stayed with them because he left Nike to be with them because they didn't want to put the scriptures on the shoes that he wanted. He wanted some biblical scriptures and stuff like that on his sneakers. So they wouldn't go with. They did little things. I know LeBron has little stuff, belief and stuff in the tongue, but they don't let him do blatantly things with the scripture. So they let Curry do things with the scripture on his shoes to represent his belief. So that's why he chose them.
Okay.
So I was like, me personally, I like Nike. That's all I have. I mean, I even tried to wear Adidas one time. I couldn't do it because I didn't have nothing to match it. I guess I'm not stuck into the materialistic like that, but I've been like I'm kind of like Durant. I've been raised a certain way on a certain brand, and that's all I have. That's a big movement, but I wouldn't insult.
Yeah.
My buddy. Yeah. I wouldn't insult my teammate like that. I wouldn't do that.
Right. No,
I'll say those comments for the locker room.
For the locker room, with just one-on-one.
Yeah.
And this, we won't spend a lot of time on it, but this is a result of what happened a couple weeks ago with the FBI.
Yes.
Arresting these coaches.
Nike, Adidas.
And the Nike people because they have taken.
Recruiting out of context.
It's cheating, okay?
Yeah, it's cheating.
Call it what it is.
Like they said, I'm sorry because I just wanted because one of my favorite coaches, Rick Pitino, they said he took 98% of the budget went in his pocket
from Nike. That was his money. That's what he got.
98%. What the kids get?
Yeah,
they get their little refund check from their scholarship.
No, right? They don't get any major bucks. Plus, you can't give them money.
No, you can't.
You can't give them money. The only money that they can get once they go to college, it has to become through their financial aid or their scholarship.
Or when they're on the road, they get like $500 when they go to certain games. You know, pocket money.
And yeah, you'll get your stipend.
Yes.
And you'll get your gear. Okay.
Book money.
But the deal was, these guys realized if we started funneling players
to schools,
to certain universities, we can get paid big time, because hopefully if they get in the right program and they go pro, we already got them locked down.
As an athlete.
Okay, they can't go to another agent because we got them. And when you're dealing with billions of dollars like these shoe companies, sporting good companies have, $100,000 here and $100,000 there is nothing. And they're dealing with a lot of kids that don't have a lot. And you tell the parents, hey, if you guys sign with this particular university, we're going to funnel you this $100,000, and nobody will ever know.
You're right.
And that's what it was all about. So, and I think it's only the tip of the iceberg. When folks start flipping, and it's going to happen, other names are going to drop. Patino was just the first one.
That's right.
His track record was such where, he had just come through one scandal with the stripper and the players.
Yes, I remember that.
The president and the trustees say, you know what? If it's not true, we can't take another negative publicity in the newspaper. You got to go.
Patino might have to go, huh?
Yeah, so they going to hurt Patino. How much money Patino got, man?
Man, he mob rich.
He is right. He mob rich.
And I know I say that word on the radio. He's like that because he's in the fraternal coaching ring where him, Calipari, Mike Fratello, Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, they all camp under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Under the Chuck Daly umbrella. Chuck Daly started somewhere. When he started there, Bob Hill, all these guys, they stayed together. So if Patino's there, you got to unmove the veil. It might be some other guys in that coaching umbrella that's doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I just named them. I'm going to name them again. Calipari, Chuck Daly, he deceased. Pat Riley. Who's that? I said Mike Fratello. Bob Hill, ex-coach Orlando Magic.
Yep, Bob Hill.
This is what they used to do. And I've seen him speaking at Nike Clinic too. He said, if I got a job somewhere, that means that one of my buddies not working, they get my assistant automatically. The Van Gundys, they're part of that too.
The Van Gundys, yeah.
They're Pat Riley's. They're Pat Riley like little brothers.
Yep.
Pat Riley always kept them in the loop.
Old boys club.
It's an old boy. That's what Mike Fratello called. Mike Fratello about 4 feet tall anyway.
Okay, how you gonna be a coach?
Yeah, he was a football player. That's what he said. He said, I never played basketball. I was a gym teacher. And all of a sudden, Chuck Daly got on. He called us. Somebody got a job in Army. Coach K. He got involved with Bobby Knight.
Yeah, Knight.
Yep.
Bobby Knight.
So all that was a referral, and they moved them through. And today, that's what they're doing today. Look at them. Look
big
at that
money,
chain.
Man. Big money.
They big money coaches.
Yeah.
So all of them sponsored by Nike too.
By Nike. The king. Nike is the king.
Yep, Nike's the king.
Okay. Everybody want to be like Nike. Everybody want to be like Nike.
Yeah. Out there, I say the crying Jordan Muskrats, University of Muskrat University. With the crying Jordan brand.
Right.
Hope they not in no trouble.
We're going to have one more topic and we're going to move on because I think we need to kind of give our audience an idea of how we think with the demonstration and national anthem.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Letter came down today. First of all, it started with our president, okay, when he said all the SOBs should be fired.
That's right.
Jerry Jones.
You talking about all the black people?
90% of the NFL is African American. So I don't think he was talking about that other 10%.
So if I'm a son of a B, I'm a son of a black
female dog.
Yeah.
Female dog.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he starts to call these owners.
Yes.
Okay. And he has a little bit vendetta against the NFL because, at one time he wanted a franchise in NFL and they locked him out. They wouldn't give it to him. He went over to the USFL and jacked that up. But anyway, he's starting to put pressure on these guys. So these guys come up with this idea now that from an employer standpoint, if you're in a uniform of a UPS driver, postal service, even a military, there's a certain code of conduct that is expected from employers.
You got to wear your hair a certain way.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we got to go back and look 12 years ago when the NBA came up with their dress code to say that guys on the bench was expected to dress in a certain way. Man, I
said some ridiculous stuff.
Okay. So the NFL has kind of gone down this road to say that you can demonstrate, you're free to do that. That's your constitutional right. But when you are representing this corporation
with your uniform on,
and
our logo,
there's a certain expectation that we have of your conduct. And one of them is you will stand for the national anthem. Okay? That's going to be a hard one for the players union to beat. There's a lot of rules that they have about what owners can do and what owners can't do. But that's one of the rules that they're going to have a real tough time.
That make a lot of sense, too. That put them in a tough spot.
Yeah, trying to overturn.
Now, if you take a knee, I know you're a real G now.
Okay, because you're getting ready to sit the bench, according to Jerry Jones.
You showing me that you really support something. You take a knee now,
yeah,
you going against the machine for real.
So, what the guys really need to do is take a step back and say, okay, if we are truly committed to trying to make America aware of our concerns, we're going to go with a different approach. Because this is one battle they're not going to win. Because owners have that right, just like employers do, to determine what your code of conduct is while you're in their uniform or while you're on the clock. It's no different than you can't show up for work drunk. Okay.
You can't win that battle. Or like me going to school with a T-shirt on that say something
very derogatory. Yeah, you can't do it. They will ask you to leave the premises, take the shirt off, or do something. So it took them a while to get to this approach, but it's going to be interesting to see how the union, Players Association, and management work through this. But I think and the reason I don't like it because it makes me feel like the president won in this situation because he's definitely taken this out of the contest. It was never intent to disrespect the flag, the military, or any of that.
No, there's just some things going on in our country that was blatantly done against people of
and it's still going on.
Of brown pigmentation. That's all it was. So it was like, well, let's stand against the document that supports this symbol. That's what they're saying. Like, what does the Constitution say about me as a man? Right. 3/5 of a human being. What does this flag say? The red blood that is shed.
That was shed.
The white and the blue. The meaning of the stars. What does it stand? Then they hit with the Star Spangled Banner. They left a verse out. Yeah. So they left a verse out about the blood being shed of the slaves and everything. So it's like, whoa, I'm standing for this now. Hold on.
Okay.
We might need a remix. Because somebody write a remix. Rewrite the
Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem.
Rewrite it.
Yeah.
Switch the flag out. No, you can't switch the flag out. But it's got to be something that's got to be changed.
Yeah, because the other piece to this is all of the sponsors. Okay, again, probably in circles that we will never ever know what happens in these kinds of circles, are saying to these owners, we pump billions of dollars
into your
organization,
in your arena on those Sundays. Those 16 Sundays, man, is something serious. With the Monday night footballs, that's like
Thursday
a big
night football.
Yeah, they done made it every night. Sunday night. They done moved it Sunday, Saturday, Monday, every day.
And they're saying that we're getting too much pushback from our shareholders and our stockholders, saying that maybe we shouldn't be so involved with the National Football League. So there's money too here at stake
in the game.
Okay.
Then there's also one of my friends, Jamil Hill, the girl that worked for ESPN, Michigan State graduate. She always was a good person. So I'm like, she always made her point too when she was in college. So I already know when she make a point, she make a valid point with her research because that's what she was a journalism major. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, well, what got her in trouble. This is the second time too. They didn't suspend.
It's all financial though. It's all
financial.
Yeah,
because she said after Jerry Jones' comments came out that if anybody didn't stand,
she went to Twitter or something.
She went to Twitter and told people to boycott the Dallas Cowboys. Do not buy Dallas Cowboys paraphernalia or apparel. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute, honey. You can't. ESPN is saying you can't do that. Okay, we have a contract with the NFL.
That's right, because when we go and walk on that field,
billions of dollars.
They pay your salary when we do those games.
So it's back to this employer.
That's right.
Code of conduct.
You're right. You can't say that.
You can't say
they giving you a check.
You can.
ESPN is getting paid by Dallas.
That's right.
Dallas is I'm gonna say it. I don't really think so, but they're America's team.
America's team. Okay, whether you agree with it or
Man,
not,
they got
they've
that
been
money.
coined
That's right.
as America's team.
Like the Yankees. You're right.
Okay, and ESPN has a contract with the NFL worth billions of dollars. And now, if she was not an employee of ESPN,
She could do that.
she could say whatever she wanted to say. But ESPN said, because you are an employee, there's a certain way we expect you to act
Yes,
when
sir.
you're on the clock. So,
Yep.
yeah.
So that's
So this thing is getting down to the money now, see.
woo.
All right, we was okay when we was just talking about Black
Take a knee.
Lives Matter, taking
Yeah.
a knee. So the owners have turned this thing around to where it's about that bottom line, baby.
Yep. It's like somebody I admire that I don't. Where I'm surprised they have not went after him is Shannon Sharp.
Oh, Shannon's very vocal.
Yeah, he's very vocal. His
He's CBS.
yeah, I think
he's CBS.
he would go in. He go in.
Yeah.
He states his mind, his opinion, and everything. But he's borderline, almost in trouble. He's not boycotting anybody, but he coming at the civil rights issue of it, and he has a lot of fun, and he pulls in different audiences because something he said a couple weeks ago. What he say? His mile and hen dog. He said his black and mild and hen dog time. So I was like,
No, he didn't.
yeah, that brought back some college days to me. I haven't had a drink in so many years, but I started cracking up laughing. I was like, wow. But all the issues he coming at, he has some sense of humor still.
Okay,
In the complex issues he's talking about, and he still does good on commentary of sports.
Yes,
so
he
like
does.
you can't get no better than that.
Yeah, he's very
He's
good.
the best of both worlds. He's brings clarity to all the issues and the sports, and he was a heck of a football player.
Heck of a football
and
player.
a leader.
And he knows his sports.
That's right. He was a tough guy. I loved his game and everything.
And, you can't say anything bad about Shannon. He was never one of those guys that had any off-field type of troubles. He was well respected in the league. And, you only get jobs in the NFL, in the broadcasting booths, when you're somewhat squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Some folks still get them, but
That's right.
yeah, I'm gonna finish up. We're gonna spin the Miami Dolphins offensive line coach
Yes.
on video.
Oh Lord, I saw
All
that.
right, how about that one for some news?
Man, using narcotics.
Using narcotics. All right, and the young lady that he sent the video to is the one that
Posted it.
posted it because he wasn't paying her enough money.
That's right.
So he told her, you got to pay up a little bit more, which he didn't. So she leaked it to the media, and ultimately cost him his job.
Wow. So today we talking about. I guess we talking about things like insurance. We got this new bill that's out that's being proposed to the state, and it's
It's House Bill 4936.
That's right, House Bill 4936. And what it looks at, I got some of the details. It says the negative changes to no-fault law insurance in this proposal. And it says one of them is a schedule for medical providers to set 125% of Medicare rates for emergency services and 100% for Medicare rate for all other services. These rates are very low and fail to take in consideration that Medicare reimbursement doctors and hospitals quickly. So it's going to keep the Medicaid on the hook for all the bill?
Well, so what they're saying is this. They want to use it as a scale. It's still the insurance companies that will be on the hook to pay the bill, but right now there are no fee schedules. So they're saying that if a Medicaid patient came into the ER, and the schedule that they have for an x-ray, just as an example, is $75. If if a automobile accident person shows up, we're going to let you charge 125% of that number. So it's going to be $100.
So they make some money off of that.
Okay. Well, the hospital's saying that it's probably more in line to about 150. Okay. That's really what we would normally charge a health care provider for a normal x-ray is 150. But we understand that the Medicaid is a state subsidized medical program. So we're going to give them a little bit of a cut. Because those folks are indigent.
Because they look at it as one size fit all type of insurance. That's what I look at it as, Medicaid and Medicare. But like you said earlier, it's your senior citizens, then it's your people that's younger.
Right. Your senior citizens, they're going to get their Medicare. So this is the example. You take the person that came into the hospital room and they needed the x-ray. They are a Medicaid recipient, $75. Now for an automobile person, it's in an accident, they come in, they can charge $1,000. There is no fee schedule. And what the reform says is that we want the hospital industry to put together a list of fee schedules for certain procedures like you have for work comp, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicaid, Medicare. We want a fee schedule. That's all they're asking for. Okay, but because there's none now. If you need an MIR and Blue Cross fee schedule is $500, they can charge your automobile insurance company $5,000. There is no limit to it, and that's part of the reform that they're going after.
So that's good to have that schedule. So we got proponents on both sides. Like the article I have by Steinbeck right now from a lawyer that's in the city of Detroit, he's saying these things. So then it says, another one says, it says, why would any doctor treat an auto accident if they're only getting a Medicare rate and have to battle an insurance company for years to get paid? Mm-hmm. Why would they do that? They're like, well, I'm not going to take you as a client. That's why they make sure they see those people last.
Right. Yeah. The example is if you show up in an emergency room and it's not a life-threatening type of an injury, and there's 10 people in front of you, and they all are, private providers such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Priority Health, whatever, you will probably wait while they treat those individuals because they know they're going to get paid that fee schedule.
Now, I'm looking at it. It's like got me thinking. Like I know Mayor Dugan is behind this because we're in the city of Detroit, and the city of Detroit is hard to insure. I live there.
It's ridiculous.
I stayed on the skirts of the city just for that reason. Insurance. Mm-hmm. I could have bought a teacher next door property in the city. I couldn't do it. I was like, it's cheap. You want to give me a crib for like $30,000? It's probably worth $170, but I can't do it because the insurance was like I couldn't do it.
It's exorbitant.
Yeah, it's like it's a trick. It was like hide the bill on you.
Yeah.
When the insurance broker like yourself told me, like, Chance, that's not a good deal. I'm like, the house only $30,000. He said, bro, where it's located at, you're gonna have to pay triple.
You're gonna pay triple, not just for your homeowner's policy as well as for your auto policy.
So that's why Dugan is coming. They're trying to be proponents of trying to be on the other side of this bill and shift it from 1973 to get it where they can make insurances cheaper so they can rebuild houses, make sure people can move into this community faster. Mm-hmm. Well, I look at it the white flight to say, hey, how can we transplant some people that used to live in the suburbs, bring them back to the inner city, get them cheaper insurance rates and these nice, beautiful colonial homes in this beautiful East Detroit or downtown Detroit that's luxurious. Let them get a cheaper rate.
That's right.
That's what he's pushing for.
That makes sense because you want to make living affordable in the city of Detroit. But if you got to pay 3-4 times more than the average suburban
for convenience
people, then it's really not worth it.
It's not worth it.
So that's part of this whole, revitalizing the city of Detroit is to make sure that we get competitive rates for auto and home insurance. Business insurance is the same way.
Now here's the next one. It says the bill requires medical providers to provide certain information to auto insurance for creation of a utilization review to be used by insurers to determine whether they should pay a medical bill or not. Doctors and hospitals will have to somehow prove the treatment they are giving is justified.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, that is a part of the fraud that takes place under the PIP in your insurance policy. Now,
remember you were saying it's three components to your insurance.
3 components to your insurance. It's the PL and PD.
Yes.
Which is
that's that liability. Everybody got to have that.
Property damage and personal liability.
You put that on the hoopty.
You have to have that if
on
you
the
drive
hoopty.
a car in the state of Michigan.
If you drive a car that the door don't open, the windshield missing,
you got 3 wheels on it. You got to have a license tag on it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the first component. Then there's the PIP, personal injury protection. That's the one
that they want to work with.
That's driving all the costs in the state because if you go back to your PL and PD, there are certain limits of liability.
That's right.
That your policy will pay. State minimum is 2040. So if you're carrying a 2040 and you're involved, you hit a kid on a bike, and they go to the hospital, that policy is going to pay up to $20,000. Period.
Yeah, I got something to say. Right, it says currently there's an unlimited coverage for medical expenses related to car accident, and it says it offers 3 levels of PIP coverage, so it's unlimited or you can get unlimited coverage.
Right now, under the present no fault law in Michigan, PIP is unlimited. In other words, if the injuries you have go on for the next 20 years and the cost to become millions of dollars, the insurance company has to pay it.
Okay. So then look, it says this is what they want to do. They want to limit the PIP coverage. They say, but the truth is there is no coverage under this bill. Instead of receiving $250,000 in coverage, if you say I want $250,000, $500,000, or unlimited, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An injured person will only be entitled to $25,000 in PIP coverage.
If that's what they chose.
So then this is because of the $225,000 of the $250 is mandated for emergency medical care. Therefore, there will only be $25,000 for all PIP benefits outside of ER. How can you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to get into that a little bit more.
Man, that's crazy.
But, in a hospital, a hospital bill now, for a car accident, it's
no, $25,000.
I'm gonna say average is probably $35,000 if you get a busted femur, which requires surgery and to stay in the hospital. And then you got the rehab. All that comes after that. So yeah, I don't get that one.
That's called the game is on. That's crazy. But here's an example. It says, so if you were injured in a car accident, like you said, right, and you sustained more than $25,000 in lost wages. Now let's just look at that.
Okay, they said 25 lost wages. Okay,
you're screwed, right? Or if you sustain lots of medical bills due to a surgery that occurred outside an ER setting. Too bad. So like say if you go to ER and say, well, you got to come back for therapy, Chauncey. Mm-hmm. You got to come back for this, Tony. You got the concussion. We got to get you
outside of ER.
Got to get you right. Now we got to see a counselor, psychologist. It was traumatic.
Mm-hmm. So what they're saying is that the $25,000 is what will be limited to the ER cost. Okay.
Yes.
But I find it hard to believe that they would even write a bill that would limit the benefits to $25,000, because the way I understand it is they're going to let you pick your coverage, which unlimited still be available, but there were some that you could go up to $50,000 or $100,000 under PIP, which says that if you are injured, those would be the limits of benefits versus unlimited. And it's not uncommon. There are a lot of states that right now have limits for your personal injury protection. Okay, so I'm pretty sure as this thing works its way through Congress, there'll be some give and take.
Yes.
Okay, this is just the first introduction of this bill.
But the big thing is they just trying to figure out how to move people into the city of Detroit. They got money.
Yeah,
it's got money, got education, trying to get it where they can reduce it to a lower crime level. That's what they basically trying to do.
Well, especially when it comes to fraud, and that was one of the other things in that bill, is that to establish a fraud investigation unit ran by the state of Michigan, because right now most of those units are ran by like the private insurance companies. They have their own units to go out and do the investigation. Then they have to turn around and start the prosecution process, which says that we got to turn all this stuff over to the prosecutor, versus having the attorney general of the state looking in, running this organization. So once they do their investigation into fraud, it's automatic. You don't have to make that second step, because we're talking billions of dollars that these clinics and lawyers they are making under this unlimited PIP protection, personal injury protection. It's on your policy. If you have one, just look at PIP, and it's going to be, that number will represent probably half of what your total premium is for 6 months. It's probably going to be in that PIP. I got one, for example. This guy's PIP is $1,149, and the total charge for a 6-month policy is like $2,000. Okay?
It's most of the insurance, the PIP is.
Right, it's the insurance. And also this PIP number, again, is the one that takes all this information around credit. Okay, if you got a low credit score, that goes into that, and that PIP
equation
in determining how much you're going to pay. Claims, tickets, all that stuff.
Age.
Yep, comes into that PIP number, because the third portion of the policy is the automobile coverage. Your comp.
That's when you get hit.
Collision,
comprehensive.
rental, towing, all that. That's the third part of your auto policy. It's basically 3 parts.
So you got PIP, You got auto coverage.
Your PL&PD.
And your liability. That's a 3.
Yep. Property damage and personal liability.
So
3.
Audience, we're gonna be keeping our eye on this bill as we go. I know Tony Williams is a great resource. Farmers Insurance in Muskegon. What's the address, Tony?
752 Pine Street, downtown Muskegon, on the corner of Pine and Western.
Audience, it's free to ask a question.
Yes,
I'm telling you, it's so free to ask a question before, because if they make this bill change, and you like, I got some cheap insurance.
Still know what you're buying.
Yeah, still know what you're buying. Don't look at cheap insurance. Don't look at it like that. Look at it if your loved ones is in that car and you get in an accident. Can you take care of them if you hurt? Well, if you dismembered or something.
One thing they don't have to worry about in the state of Michigan, it won't be cheap.
Oh yeah, we know that. We know that already.
Yeah.
Even with good credit, it's not
make
cheap.
It affordable, but it would be a long way from being cheap. So, because it's just too much money involved in this insurance game for them to be to make it cheap.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Next week we're going to be getting into a chapter of this book that we have been working on. It's called Good for Nothing, and it's saying trust God with the least. So we're going to be still sharing financial tidbits, but we're going to also trying to release some biblical knowledge to you on some scripture that we looked over. It's about 2,000 scripture in the Bible about money, and it's about 18 parables out of 36 of them, and we just pulled the ones that we felt that would be good for our audience, and we're getting ready to release a book in like January. So we're going to be trying to talk about it. And the first chapter is called The Purpose. Your purpose on this earth, and how you're going to live with money, and how is that designed. I always say, try to experience life, don't try to chase things.
That's it.
So that's it. So we're going to be sharing that next week. The book will be launching in January, but it's just a project that we've been working on that we want to share with our audience to keep you up in the spirits, because it's getting close to holiday season, Tony. Yeah. And a lot of people think that they got to have a lot of money, or they got to squander money on gifts and things. Let's get our finances together. Let's get our taxes handled. Let's get our debt out the way, and then let's try to experience life in the best way we possibly can. That's what we're doing with this project.
Let's not make it a period of time when you just get depressed because you don't feel like you've been able to purchase enough for friends or family. We're just going to give you a new meaning,
an outlook,
definition, outlook to when holiday season comes up. Yep. Does not necessarily have to equate into how many gifts you are able to afford.
All right. I'm Chauncey Williams.
And I'm Tony Williams.
And this is What Do I Do Now, your guide to credit, debt, and planning for your financial success with 103.7 The Beat.